Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket, which I've turned into Eyes on Sports. Probably a very much needed preview of what will be a Border Gavaskar Trophy extraordinaire. We will probably see four of the most dramatic tests excuse me, ever seen. I would assume that this is in Nagpur, the first test on February 9th, followed by, of course, as you know, the second test will be in Delhi, followed by the third test in Dharamshala, and the fourth, of course, in Ahmedabad. So these four tests will certainly incur a large amount of interest. And it really is a time to rejoice. We're back with cricket internationally. Clearly, Australia has done very well domestically with both the victories over the West Indies and South Africa. But realistically, they weren't very hard teams to beat. They both were underwhelming. But we have an Indian side that I believe will be red hot. And whether Shubman Gill gets to Guernsey over Shreyas Iyer, or more so Sky, Suryakumar Yadav, there's some discussion whether those three play. I think Shreyas Iyer's on the side. Shubman Gill is probably favoured somewhat over Sky at the moment. Rahul and Rohit will probably still open. I was going to see Shubman Gill drop down the order, maybe even as high as 4 or as low as 6. But you would have to think Kohli will still maintain his number 3 role. But then you've got spinners, potentially 3 spinners. Again, Jadeja, Ashwin, Akshar Patel, incredible. The pitches have certainly been geared towards spin bowling, it appears. If you look at the cover of this particular YouTube live coverage, you'll see that the likes of Nathan Lyon, even Stephen, they're all basically trying to discuss whether or not it's a spinning pitch. It clearly is going to be a spinning pitch. Nagpur is renowned for it, as far as I'm aware. But then there'll be some good pace bowling too, and we could see the pace bowlers actually take charge, whether it be Indian or Australian bowlers. Of course, Australia has been somewhat decimated with the loss of everyone from Stark is in doubt. Green looks like he's not playing, and certainly Hazlewood's already ruled himself out. So the 3 bowlers, we might see Lance Morris get a Guernsey. Scott Boland will probably get a Guernsey. Now, he's been very effective on Australian pitches. He's taken a lot of wickets. But will he continue to be that way in India? That's the question. So I'm getting India Innovative. Hi, how are you? Are you all right, mate? Coughing a bit? Hey, I am, mate. Mishra. I'm coughing a fair bit, but there's nothing to worry about. Just a dry cough. And I'm not in India at the moment. I hope to be very soon. I'm trying to aim for the 3rd and 4th test. I've still got to sort out a few things with my mother's passing here. So I'm not in India yet. No, Subham Makat, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting lots of good coverage from people there. So yeah, it looks as though India will certainly be right and ready for it. And of course, India, significantly, if they do well in this 4-test series, in, of course, Nagpur, Delhi, of course, Dharamshala and Ahmedabad, those 4 tests will mean that the World Test Championship will confirm it as being Australia versus India. It's likely to be the pairing. I think even if India do lose this year, they still make it, but they're odds on to be facing Australia in the World Test Championship, which will be in June, early June, at the Oval in England, which I will also be at. George Bailey is there in Australia or India. George Bailey, I'm pretty sure, will be either on his way, Nagpur already there. Now, the Nagpur component of the trip is a bit early for most people, so we'll see how we get that going. Okay, so we're going to be joined a bit later by Chris Vernon, I believe, but Chris will be talking more about the global aspects of cricket, which will include the Ashes, which will be in mid to late June. I think they're pushing 5 tests very, very quickly, one after that. I went on the streets of Sydney and I asked them about who would win the test series, the border GAVASKAR trophy, and a lot of people have been saying India, to be honest, or Australia, but with a concerned look. Sanchi Sharma, hi Norman, hope you're all doing well. I think Agar should come in for green. And yeah, I would think that Agar's pretty much likely to join Lyon in the bowling attack. There's Todd Murphy's there as well. I don't think Swepson will get a go. He's not really suited to these conditions. But yeah, I think you will see Agar in there because of his left arm bowling. Steve Smith made a comment in one of the videos that I've posted about the potential the left arm bowler will be very useful in these conditions. We'll see. Nitin Parikh, I think Indian management is bluffing Aussies. It will be a good pitch for Nagpur. Also, temperature will be for 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Good conditions to play. It may well be. I think it's pretty dusty to me. Who will be the Aussie commentators for the Border GAVASKAR trophy? Well, if Alan Border's fit, he certainly will be there, but there's no guarantee that Alan Border will be there at this point. Siddharth Rai, how are you? I'll say hello to you. There's a lot to be said about this. Huge excitement. But this 4 tests will, hello, Siddharth Rai. So we're looking at, quite frankly, the Australian commentators, Tom Moody seems to get a Guernsey. I don't know why. I think he's much good at being a commentator. Simon Kaddish hopefully will be there. Jimmy Maxwell will probably be broadcasting, whether he'll be physically there or do it from Australia, we don't know. But Australian commentators will probably be around that group. And on the channels, there'll be some as well. Mark Taylor will get a Guernsey Channel 9. But yeah, I think you'll find that commentary will be predominantly Indian, which Deep Dasgupta, Harsha Bogle, to very much go. I mean, Akash Chopra will also be there. I want neck-to-neck contest. I want a neck-and-neck contest. So, Anali Kamari, I agree. I hope it's neck-to-neck. Tamway Mishra, I heard commentators from Australia are Matthew Hayden and Mark Waugh for the first 2 tests, then Mitchell Johnson for the last 2. Well, I don't know. I think Mark Waugh could well be working for Fox Sports here, and rather than be there. Matthew Hayden more than likely, and I think Mitchell Johnson will be there somewhere. But he normally deals with some of the other platforms, or radio platforms like SEN. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Big win, but right. So the keeper position is another one that's been, obviously with Rishabh Pant having suffered quite a serious injury from his car accident, being out of the series, you would have to think that they could go with KL Rahul, of course, as the keeper. Unlikely to do so because his batting is probably where he's concentrating on. But Bharat may well be the keeper, or Ishan Kishan. Now, the word is that Ishan Kishan is being favoured, but some people also say Bharat. I think they won't lose if they get either one of those two. It'd be nice to see Ishan Kishan. I've got a real rap on him, so we'll see. Great to see battle between Nathan Lyon and Kohli. Yes, it will be. Nathan Lyon's certainly put a lot of wickets there. Classic series upcoming. Yeah, Farid Khan certainly is. It's going to be an outstanding series, and leading into a lot more because it's the 4 test matches we've got here. Then you've got down the track, obviously the IPL will be in the middle there, and some ODIs, I think, as well. Australian India playing, I think, in the T20s. But then ultimately the World Test Championship in early June at the Oval, as I said earlier. That'll be a fantastic crunch match between Australia and India, leading into an Ashes series, which Australia will have to get their act together against a very prominent English side. And I think Richard Vernon and likes Chris Vernon, will talk about that later. Okay. What do we got here? A few comments coming through. Why Australia not using Adam Zampa in the red ball cricket? I totally agree. This is a very good question. I have a lot to say about this. I actually think he's the best spinner in the country, other than Nathan Lyon by way of record. Adam Zampa deserves his chance at Test cricket. He's played a lot of great cricket in the short form, both in World Cups. He seems to has a knack to take wickets and bowls very steadily, and does deserve to have his chance. But they've gone for Todd Murphy. They've gone for Swepson yet again. I'm not a big fan of Swepson, to be really honest with you. And they've gone also for Agar, who with his left arm bowling may well be the point of difference in that squad. So that's why but I don't agree. I think Zampa should be the leg spinner. He should be ahead of Swepson without any doubt at all. I can't comprehend why they've got him in there. Okay, so that's my initial thoughts. Mitchell Stark, you've got Hazelwood out, Green's all out. I hope they give Lance Morris a go. I really do. I think he deserves his chance. Yeah, I really do. Why? Okay, we've got a few repeats. Why? Adams there. Everybody's asking Adams there, but Virat Kohli the most runs. Ravi Mamataka. Oh yeah, that would be my thoughts. Virat Kohli, his home conditions. He's just peeled a couple of centuries in the short format, as did Steve Smith, by the way. But in Test cricket, I think Virat Kohli needs to stand up yet again. He's a great player. He's great record. He's actually, it's very interesting. He's actually, I think, 5th or 6th in the overall rankings of Test, ODI, and T20 runs, which is quite a substantial effort. Let's be honest. Let's look at the stats. It's a very interesting stat. If you go to Quick Info, I often do that. I love my stats, all records, and look at. It shows you. Let's have a look here. Combined Test, ODI, and T20 records. We go to most runs in that career, and if you look at the totaling, you got Tendulkar first, Sangakkara second, Ponting third, Jawaharlal fourth, 5th Kallis, and then 6th Kohli. And Kohli is already in 6th spot, having only played realistically nowhere near as many games as the other ones above him. He's currently on 24,936, 24,936 runs, which is still it's pretty close to 15,000 behind, or just under 15,000 behind Tendulkar. But he gets another 3,000 or 4,000 runs, which he's likely to get pretty soon. He will go into 2nd spot. I'm expecting him to go past Sangakkara's 28,016 at some stage over the next few years, maybe 2 years, and he should move into 2nd spot. He currently has 74 hundreds and 129 50s. The 74 hundreds is the second most hundreds, only behind Tendulkar on 100. And of course, his 50s are very numerous as well. He is dead set looking like he's going to break Sangakkara, Ponting, Jawaharlal, and McCullers' record very easily and move into 2nd spot behind Tendulkar. And it's a matter of his fitness levels and how he feels, whether he can go past Tendulkar will be a big ask, because Tendulkar did play for 24 years and Kohli at this point has played for 15. So he'd take another 9 years of play, he might go close. And that's a chance. It's definitely a chance. So Kohli is ranked 6th. There's no Australian in the boat. Also, other than Ricky Ponting, I should say. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting stat for sure. And with the live scores, there's some very interesting live scores at the moment. You've had, of course, the series between South Africa and the West Indies is currently on. And you got, I think it's Zimbabwe versus the West Indies as well. The Zimbabwe West Indies match is particularly interesting. Why? Because the son of Chanderpaul scored 207 not out, along with Craig Braithwaite, got 182, and they certainly do dominate the Zimbabwean side. But having said that, though, it isn't the best of opposition to be contesting awards, but Chanderpaul's played 3 odd tests against Australia, scored quite a few 50s, and was always looking like he could score more, and he's had his chance and he's taken it. He scored 207 not out against a reasonably average Zimbabwean side. In that match, the first test of drinks, the West Indies were 6-4, 4-7, and Zimbabwe were 9-3, 6-1. So they're not that huge amount of difference in the two scores. Some 80, not even that, 86 runs. Yeah. So, excuse me. You got Gary Balance, who's playing for Zimbabwe. He played for England, of course. Well, he's 128 not out. So, having played for England and now qualified to play for Zimbabwe, batting at number 5 is not at 128. He's with Brandon Mavuta, 56. They're the two that stood out. Obviously, Innocent K, 67 also was there from the beginning. So anyway, yeah. So Chanderball scoring 207 on out is a big deal. So the scores there: West Indies 6 for 447, and Zimbabwe 9 for 361. So they've come back reasonably well. England and Australia 19s are also playing, and there's a bit of runs going on there. England trailed by 14 runs at the moment. Sri Lanka A vs Orange is also on. But yeah, back to the test series between Australia and India. There's a lot of discussion about Aussies for Australia for the whitewash. Are you saying, Anish, Tuara, that Australia will whitewash India? I don't think so. My prediction is cricketers will score 200 in Nagpur, and one team will be out for below 200. Okay. I think there will be Australia. I think India are notoriously good on this pitch. And we should see India be in the ascendancy early on. Will Aussie's second spinner be able to trouble any batters? Well, he's unknown to them. That's probably the benefit of having Todd Murphy on the floor. Whether we'll get even a chance is the question. Are you covering the BGT in India? The Pranav, I am planning on doing so. I'm not going to be there for the first test, but I will be. Hopefully, everything goes to plan there for the third and fourth. The Ahmedabad, which is the fourth, and the Dharamshala, which is the third. Second being in Delhi. If I can get to Delhi, I'll be ecstatic. I have to sort my mother's estate. That's always a problem. Hi, Nikhil Yadav. How are you? India with Davida, and what my prediction again? Out of the 4 matches, it's going to be a draw somewhere in amongst them, I reckon. But I think India will win 3-1. I'll be shocked if it's not that one. I think 3-1 is a fair indication of how the match will go, if I'm being honest. I can't see India losing this, to be honest with you. Ahmed Raza, how are you? I remember you. You're back. Hello, Norms. With the hope that whatever you are, you must be fine and well. Thank you. I am, certainly. I really am. Also, Father Vera Coley. Isha Father. Iska Father. Okay, I'm not sure what you want to try to say. It's Vera Coley's father. They call Iska. I'm not sure. Norman, here, previous and Ranji Trophy, minimum 185. So run in the first thing. Okay, it's a fairly low total, but it will suit the bowlers. I must be sure. Naman Garg, can India whitewash Australia? Yes, they can. It'll be a very special effort to do that. Yeah, they certainly can. Prediction is India will win 2-1. I live in go 3-1, to be honest. I would say 3-1 is very likely. Yogesh Robert, are you ready to lose by 3-0? 3-1, I reckon. Coley Smith will rule the series. They probably will. Warner, unlikely. Travis Head's unlikely. Green's injured. Renshaw might get a go. I think I like him. Peter Handscomb shouldn't get a go above him, but that's my thoughts. Smith's only danger for India, I think. And Khawaja. They're the 2 that I predict will do the best. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Hello, Norman. So how are you? Siddharth Singh, Smith, batting average in India is fantastic. Doesn't mean he'll succeed this time, but yes, it is fantastic. I have to admit it's particularly good. So you'd think there's a fair bit of chance there. Okay, so Aussies, let's have good banter. I hope there is a good banter. I love to see a man like Shane Warne float around, but he's not there. What do you think about which team? Hang on, there's lots of questions coming through. Hello, Hitesh Basi, I might remember yourself. Why is Charlie ex-creditor jealous of India? No, brother. Australians, yeah, we all saw what was going on there with the question discussion, and it was pretty.
Of what will be a
Host of eyes on
trophy.
Yeah, eyes on sports. Okay, I'll just have a look here. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at the. There's a comment made, which was an awful one. They said that Australia win 2-1. How on earth is Australia going to win 2-1? Oh, I've got no idea. I can't see that happening. Australia are not going to win 2-1. They've got such a disjointed bowling lineup at the moment with Hazelwood out, Stark, green, some spin bowls which yet really haven't been exposed. Todd Murphy's raw to this level. Although a good bowler, they say. Lyon's got experience, but he's not that penetrative. Lance Morris will have to step up if he gets to Guernsey, because he'll need to. Boland, I don't think the pitches will suit him. He's too much of an Australian bowler, in my opinion. And he may get a bit of movement. It'll be predictably so, and India will carve him up. So I've got to predict Aditya Rai. His argument for the teams. I did see a report about this earlier. I've had a big day, guys. I posted a lot of posts. All right, let's have a look at these stories with India. The series, India versus Australia. The great pitch, the Cowrell, still in no man's land in Test cricket. Yeah, they're still not giving him the right. He should not be keeping, that's for sure. He should be opening the batting and letting him be there. Or, yeah, with quite a few people now back. Is Rahul the answer in opening with Rohit Sharma? Or is it Shubman Gill? Kerry O'Keefe said that Tom Murphy will be a superstar. Well, it's way too early to be saying anything like that. And it's pretty sure that Cameron Green is unlikely for the first test as well. So Ian Chappell says to Australian batters, even in India, you should play the way you normally play and not become caught up by the conditions. I kind of agree that the sweep shot is a very useful shot in India. We'll see whether that's really is. Sanjay Mandrake has commented, Kohli seems to be struggling to pick the length against spinners. Maybe that's right. I've got no idea. I would have said no, he doesn't handle the length. But Surya Kumar Yadav, he's to be picked. Sanjay Mandrake says that Sky should be picked over Skill. No, I don't agree. Gill deserves a chance ahead of him for sure. So Ian Chappell has announced his 11, whether it should be Ashton Akar or, in fact, Mitchell Swepson. Swepson hasn't been in good form. I would pick Agar. That's my thoughts. So as Shubman Gill should be in there as well. So the battle to watch, Nathan Lyon versus Pujara, somewhat interesting, and Kohli and Ashwin versus Warner Smith. Yeah, they're saying Warner's going to succeed. I can't be guaranteed of that. Smith certainly, and I think Khawaja is the other threat to him. Why is Australian cricketer jealous? I mean, I'm a bit upset because of the fact that India just seems to be relentlessly getting, everything running their right way. So, but no, I don't think they're necessarily in that much of an ascendancy. But they're going to play well. They're probably going to beat Australia. It is on their home soil, as Australia did against, other teams, but not India. They actually got beat by India, haven't they? So India improved themselves yet again. It's all about Indians' team having that a bit of mungle, a bit of aggression in their play, which will be very significant. But my team, and I'll get your opinion on the team, I think KR Rahul will open with Rohit. They'll either put Kohli at 3 or Shubman Gill. Shreyas Iyer will be in the mix there as well with Pujara. And that's kind of my side. I don't think Sky will get a Guernsey at this point. Keeper-wise, it was Ishan Kishan's only a bonus for batting. And Bharat is probably a better keeper, but not a better batsman. Then you've got the bowling attack, which will figure Ashwin, Akshar Patel, and Jadeja. Then you might have a seamer there. Excuse me, Mohammad Shami or even Siraj. I think Cameron Green will be very ineffectual even if he does play. He's to be not 100%, and it will be an easy target for them to attack if they have to. So, because there's an issue with Carroll, they're saying he's in no man's land, and Test cricket has not quite made it in a cemented role, and he could easily be out and they have to keep, which is rather stopgap. It may well be that he keeps. Interesting, though, very interesting still. They're saying a lot that, in their opinion, that Cameron Green's unlikely to play the first. We know that. Tom Murphy's the bolter to come in. And they're then suggesting that it'll be an Australian victory. Now, look, Ashwin is still there and can pull it around. They haven't certainly do well against Australia. And they're saying Ashton Agar should be picked over Mitchell Swepson. I would agree with that because his left arm orthodox certainly spins the same way as the leggy and is more accurate, more potent. I think hopefully Agar gets the go he deserves. So, and then of course, Sanjay Drake has got his 11. They will go through. Later on should work. Okay, let's look at this Ian Chappell lineup. See, mentions it. Would you throw a batter into the deep end and make him a full-time spin bowler? It could work. Yes, it could work, but not in India. It has to be. India likes to use their frontline bowlers as a product. Here we go. So Chappell's 11 is Dave Warner with Khawaja, predictable. Labuschagne 3, Smith before, Head. I wouldn't agree with Head being there. So batting number 6 actually. Obviously, he's going to be put up against, you'll follow Travis Head and Smith. Yeah, and it's not really the player you follow. Anyway, it could become pivotal if the Australians have a lackluster early performance, but realistically here, they'll score big and I mean a lot of runs. Yeah, it's pretty hard to work on that one. Okay, so let's have a look here. Warner with Khawaja as the opening pair. Labuschagne 3. Now, Labuschagne's form in the Cadel concert will be interesting. Smith at 4, which is predictable. Head at 5, ahead of Renshaw, because Green's out. I would put Renshaw ahead of Travis Head, actually, but anyway. Alex Carey would be the keeper, and that's an understandable selection because he has kept very well. Then you have, we'll go down a bit further and we'll wait until we see. So, again, Ian Chappell saying Warner, Khawaja, Labuschagne, Smith, and then Head, followed by Renshaw. Whether Green's still or not, Renshaw should be there. Alex Carey. Pat Cummins is the captain. He'll be in next. So 3, 6, 7, he'll be number 8 in the batting line. So he's got 3 below him. And they'll be taken up, you would think, by line as one of the last few. And that still leaves 2 more bowlers. Will they go for 3 spinners, as in Todd Murphy along with Lyon, and then another bolter at that lot? Because Steve Smith can bowl too, don't forget. Yeah, they probably need to put a pacer to join the line. And because they've lost Hazelwood and Stark, that does leave the gap open for Lance Morris. And will it be suited the conditions? Probably not. Ultimately, no. But Nathan Lyon, he's got down here, followed by Scott Boland. So that makes Nathan Lyon. That's actually the 10, isn't it? 3, 6, 9 to 10. That's 10 to Lyon. And Ian Chappell's putting Mitchell Swepson. That's a mistake. That should be Agar, in my opinion. And it should be because he can also bat higher then too. That's a mistake, I reckon. They can't afford to have Swepson there, I don't think. Unusual Swepson, I thought was pretty ordinary in Pakistan when he was there. Didn't penetrate as much as he could have. Okay, we've got 4 players there for the FedEx Performance Zone. One is the keeper from, I think it was the Australian side. Okay. Mandrakis thinks that Kohli seems to be struggling to pick the length against spinners. I don't think it's going to make a difference because if he's a good enough batter, which he is, he would have come out and smothered anything from those balls. So I don't agree with that. That's how it is. Hunter Mandrake is 11. How many spinners are going to put in the team is a good question. And who will partner Robert Sharma? Will it be Rahul or will it be Shubman Gill? Those two answers do lower things I wouldn't have thought. So something Mandrake has picked his 11. He's got Robert Sharma there with Rahul or Gill. So I don't think it's going to matter if Rahul or Gill. I think both will actually play, but we'll see. So I can't imagine Gill forcing out Rahul because he's got a pretty good record in Test cricket. So no, I find that one hard to believe. Anyway, the moment Rohit Sharma, captain, followed by Rahul or Gill as the other opener. Now 3, you would think would be Pujara with Kohli at 4. Jiteshwar Pujara, yes, he's very solid bat, could really revel in these conditions, and India against a good bowling line could knuckle down and probably negate most Australian bowling on the conditions and get a hefty score. So I think Pujara should be there. They've got him at number 3 as opposed to opening. It's not here nor there. I think he should bat early. And then Virat Kohli at 4, that's a given. And Virat Kohli is the best batsman in the Indian team. Let's not forget that. Surya Kumar Yadav, he's got him playing, as opposed to the diddly-daddling with good old, what's his name? Not Shubman Gill, but who's the other opener that they've got there? The name will Elizabeth. Ravindra Bharat's the keeper, they're saying here. Jadeja, Ashwin are coming in. And then you've got 3 bowlers. There's Umesh Yadav, Mohammad Shami, and Mohammad Siraj. Reasonable selections, but I think Lance Morris could have been in amongst those 3. And then there'll be a rear end of some players. And who will they be? Who are the blokes that continue? Gregor Rock was how he killed himself. 6. Actually, they're not including. Anyway, so the 11 is Rohit Sharma, Rahul or Gill, Pujara, Kohli, Sky, KS Barrett, Ashwin, Umesh Yadav was there as well, and Shami and Siraj. That's very. Well, they've got Jadeja and they've got Ashwin. They haven't got Jadeja and Ashwin, and they reckon Barrett was the keeper. Sky can also bowl spin, so that's probably the 3 players that get a Guernsey. Whether you need to have all 3 on the side will be interesting. With a complete Melbourne team there, non-existent. They had Asmal Mazra as well, and then a couple of other speedy players, but not a lot of skill amongst them. It's fair. Sorry, guys, it's been a very long day, as you probably know. So do you play Shreyas Iyer? I would say you do play him. And you'd also then consider Sky coming in next. And he will take a bit longer to play Test cricket than he thinks. He thinks he's on the verge of playing the next few games. But we might be proven wrong in Nagpur. Maybe he will get a Guernsey. If our batters do fail, he might go into the run of things in the second Test match. Yeah, but I mean, the fundamental rule of being a so-called rheumatic fever expert, hence having lost the capacity of their liver or the organs related to that area of the body. But yeah, I don't like the chances, to be honest. Yeah. What do you think, guys? Let's see some comments from the 4. ADR Roy is here at home, please. As we'll play it. I can't read it. He predicts playing 30 of the. Okay, there are apparently 30 players. Well, it is a very high level comp. There's a bit of attrition there. So I'm not surprised they use many players. And as long as they're the right players, it's fine. I don't agree with it. But if there's something else motivating the small robbery, that's probably why. I went there that night and it came out and people had died. And what from? A lack of understanding what to do with a medical condition. In this case, it's a dry cough. They didn't have any way because there was asbestos found around the area. Certainly would have affected them and they shouldn't have taken it. Anyway. neither here nor now. They survive. They work for the Australian Electrical Mission. Some of them got not allowed to. Most were not. Most were able to. Why is Australia cricketer jealous of India? Nathan. Okay, no, I don't think it's that. I think Australia got beaten. They won't have much of an area to fill. Like we can have a little, like the when you go and have a shower, you normally use a bidet and the whole of it. In this particular case, it's pre-made, used for general use sparingly. And this is the late night surge, which they've kind of made pretty clear that's what he needs to do. So yeah, not my great idea of a solution, but you can't really judge it, can you? What you've got in terms of number twos, which we've all had the opportunity to experience that. Mission to see what he can do if he studies. If he studies and looks, yeah. What I'm trying to say is that the way in which they select the team should be based on form, not on any other scenario. Sky is not quite there. I'm not a music player. Sky's not quite there. He's a great player. Shreyas Iyer is sort of go, and I'm looking at that. Shreyas Iyer's not picked yet in any of the teams, and I think he deserves to be there ahead of Sky and ahead of others. India always have one worst pitch when it comes to Test match. Worst as in doctored, or worst as in suitable for spin well. That's their prerogative. It's their grounds. It's their. If the history is there, I'm not going to for 1 minute suggest that they should be making them to Australia have an advantage. That would be asinine, and I don't think that would ever be the case. And we do the same. We put green tops on our wickets to stop dominance. So I can't really comment negatively about that at all. I think it's somewhat of a normal attempt to favour their players. You can't think wrongly of that by any means. I'm satisfied with that sort of situation. I don't think you need to be worried about it. Okay, I am waiting for people to come on. I don't know where Chris Vernon was. So Aditya Rose said, I'm playing 11 for both teams. So okay, go back to the Indian team. Rahul and Rohit Sharma should be in the side, with number 3 being Pujara, 4 being Kohli, 5th being Shreyas Iyer, and maybe 6th being Shubman Gill. And then Bharat or Ishan Kishan, either way I'm happy. And then you get in the bowlers, which includes Ashwin Jadeja, and then the seamless probably a perennial bowler. And we haven't got Stark. He doesn't look like he's ready. Green's not ready. Hazelwood's injured. So it only really leaves, Mitchell Johnson coming back, maybe, or it just leaves Boland's as one of our lead bowlers, and then probably an extra spin or two to cover. I think it's going to be that sort of a test match, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I would say. So, okay. A lot of discussion about whether KL Rahul should be playing, or these attitudes not there. Well, he's not 100%. So, it's not necessarily 100% domain. And I gave you some forewarning there about the unfortunate nature of the Indian team and some of the players in the team. Yeah, will they all play is the question. Bharat, probably they say that he deserves to go, but Ishan Kishan certainly has been quality as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. But Rahul should start, and he could well be the keeper, but I think they're not going to give him that onerous task of being killing keeper at the same time as when he actually bats at such a high position in the order. It's probably not quite, So we've got some 39,000 people who watched the video with Stephen's interview, which was quite interesting. He spoke rather matter-of-factly, so you've got to give him that. Yeah. Okay, so very hot here in Australia. It's hot probably in India as well. Okay, so why are Australians cricketers jealous of India? We're not jealous of India. We actually look up to them and revere India, to be honest with you. let's have a look here. What do you think does Todd Murphy come out of syllabus for India? I like that out of syllabus. He is very young, yeah, there's no doubt, but that could groom him for future reference. It's not that wrong because he wants to be in the mix, so with all due respect, he deserves it. I can't knock that. For the media conference, Evan Smith certainly has been well received. He's quite diplomatic with the way he's wondered why that's all the water, but they tend not to do that. Pat Cummins is meant to be the captain, which he did talk with Andrew McDonald in the press conference yesterday. Yeah, wait and see who's going to win this match. You would think it would favour India. Dharmashala also favours India, and I can only imagine that Ahmedabad will also be. If it's on the main stadium there, which we've all seen in the IPL format, which holds a hell of a lot of people and very far from the action, it's going to be the Indian Prime Minister who will be named in that particular ground, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's going to be a rather painful process, but not painful, but it's never easy giving names to grounds that even before the person died. There's stacks of nepotism. Okay, so Uma child up and buy some for your family. Okay. Hi, my checks. My choice. What questions asked? Please get out. Okay. India won't go wrong. They've got a plethora of great players to pick from. They may go for a different line of attack, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be there. We know that. But May will get the Lavish and Kishan, although Ishan Kishan certainly is more enterprising, and I would say deserves his opportunity to be in the team as well. But that's not happening. Okay. What do you think does Todd Murphy come out of syllabus India? Well, he has to be groomed at some stage. I would be surprised if they give him one test match. Why not? We need to get a point of difference in the side when we play India. As Kohli's probably not enough. Travis Head steps up and does pretty well, but he's not the long-term thing. Cameron Green needs to come back and bowl. He's reasonable pace for what is a short run. Very impressive indeed. There's no doubt about his ability. Okay. Steve Smith will be a bunny for Ashwin. Well, he's not necessarily a bunny. Out of the Australian squad, if he had the likes of Melbourne all round, or Melbourne bowl really, who am I thinking of? See if someone can throw the name out who I'm thinking of. Merv Hughes, of course. At his best, he's great, but he can also be very poor as well. So, Akash Naik, Steve Smith will be a bunny for Ashwin. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think he'll be by the time Ashwin comes in the bowl, it probably will see Steve Smith having batted for a fair amount of time, and he'll then should dominate pretty quickly. Okay. Steve will be a bunny for now. I already covered that. Is most short shining next white ball cricket batter? Is Matt Short the next white ball cricket batter? Well, it's stick to his format, I think. Vijay Tawar, but one of the best test series. What series we're talking about? I don't recall that. If it involved the subcontinent teams together, that would be great. Then involve the England-Australia type heritage, that would be a good game too. That's my thoughts. But yeah, the standard hasn't so much dropped. I think West Indies have picked up their game. Pakistan had to because they were in the World Test Championship. And the young girls front was predominantly South American, but also American, who are based all over northern and southern Africa. What is it called? What's the subcontinent called there? Or North, you could say, is an American territory. So certainly, it's a combination of true South America with a sharp little bit of Australian and American influence there as well. So that hopefully they worked it out in their relationship. They know where each other stands. They will take care of each other rather than be in a mess. Okay, so BGT, one of the best tests. Border GAVASKAR trophies tend to do. There's a lot of incentive there, and I think it's great to see. And I'm very, very proud of their efforts in doing so. I think it's a great thing, if I'm being honest. Do I think that the gaming for you says, do you think that Vera is going to struggle against Australian spinners in why is he playing against Australia at the domestic level? Yeah, it just defeats the purpose of playing in the country now and should abide by the conditions and should ultimately test because if he keeps coming out there thinking he owns the place, although he probably can pay for it, he could lose sight of an injury where he needs something else than what he gets given. He might regret that, but it's not a matter of karma working in that way, but it's probably something they need to sort out. So it's all about names. There's some big names up there online. Well, if it's on the sports team, they're not paying as much as you think. But it will become a rather substantial cost to the organisation. They're taking care of a vehicle and they're not actually doing anything with that person in terms of their business of the car or having other cars offset or something. I don't know. This is my thoughts. Okay. Do you think that Virak's going to struggle against Australian spinners in this series? Against England, they're playing one test match, the World Test Championship. That's not a huge burden, and I think Collie will give it a red hot crack. What do you know or think of that? Virat Kohli's just over here. In the distance, some people who are actually around the White Angels. Oh, what do they call themselves? Yeah, they're basically nightingales that take care of people who are either past or about to pass in their final stages of life, which is very sad. Okay. What do you think? Does Tom Murphy come out of? Well, he'll know what conditions he has to play. Not that different than what he has already played, and he tends to revel on that. Whether he comes back for a short part of the off season now towards the end, they might accept him. You being the likes of I'm wondering, blanket, not tomorrow. Charles from tomorrow. I'll get it right. There we go. All right. What do you think? Does Tom Murphy come out? That's what I saw was. He's going to get the best experience he possibly can. He's going to see whether he can cut it at test level, and well, he won't be able to do too much in Kingsford, which is an area there where there are quite a few takeaway type places and clothing being washed or whatever. I don't loathe to use one of those places. I don't want to use, but I will be more observant of my personal assets as in swimming costumes. Okay, what do you think about? Okay, we'll talk about that. Rowan Collie, Ian Healy is jealous. Man, no, he wasn't jealous. He was a pretty tough cookie, actually. He got away with murder when this whole thing came about for him to play during this World Cup. I killed two birds with one stone. They got a free trip to collaborate and take it easy when they come back at the end of March, early March, when my son will be also back probably with him on that same flight unless it's all pre-booked, which I don't think they are. My experience with the airport there in not Dubrovnik, which is nearby, but I've forgotten the main port which they go to in America. It's not on the west or the Tongan side at all. So I got the boat from there with my ex-wife. We went straight to the islands. Beautiful setting, watching the water lapping against the boat with only a very short amount of distance between the water and the rocks below. Wasn't much of a surface there, and most people actually don't even use two hands. They use one hand to ride the whole thing like a motorbike, which is not the way it's designed, but it's kind of a bit pedantic, I know, the way they treat people now in those sort of sites like lepers, but I'm afraid that's what they got to do. Ian Healy, jealous man. Ryan Coley, I don't know why he would be jealous at all. I don't think it's a matter of being jealous based on players being better than him. I think he would applaud that. Playing his best, he can't do much better than himself. So I don't know whether there's anything there which indicates that he's not wanting to play against players that will perform well. I can't imagine. There's people talk on his behalf. It's not him talking there, I'd say. Okay. Hitesh Bus. Okay. Who do you think does Todd Murphy come out of the lawsuit? Yeah, he might. I reckon they'll give him a blowing. I reckon they'll blood Lance Morris as well. Why not? Become very useful later when things get a bit tight to see how those young blokes travel. They're here now. Give them a go and get them in there. Again, are they going to be part of the actions? Probably more than unlikely not to do that. They may be in the series to give them some exposure before they head back home, and then a full series later on the track with the men's team, without maybe some of the players that are private honours now. But India's generally very well stocked in terms of playing capability. You've got Virat Kohli and Rahul and Pujara leading the charge. I mean, Mahane would be nice to be there, but he looks like he's on the outer, which is, I think, rather unfortunate because he's a great player. He is a great player. All right. Lance Morris should play. Because do you think? Yeah, I think the sooner they get Lance Morris in, the better for Australian cricket. He's apparently a bit of a gun. Let's see him do exactly what he's meant to be doing, which is taking wickets at serious pace of 140 plus. We kind of missed that a little bit in our recent times. We don't have that same level of bowler in the Australian squad. I don't know whether take away Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins. Lance Morris is probably the next best thing for him. If not, the best thing, a bit of waiting. Okay, gaming for you. Do you think that Virat is going to struggle against Australian batsmen? No, I don't think he'll struggle at all. He might get carried away when he's in his 50s, but no, I think he's not going to struggle at all. I think he's going to be very, very appropriate to the scene there, and I think he's going to do very, very well. But yeah, Australia will probably lose in Nagpur. The second test is up for grabs. It's going to be in Delhi. It could go either way. Then let's just say Australia win the second test. That's 1-1. Ahmedabad and Dharmashal will suit India down the ground, and they should actually go 3-1. That's my prediction. Unless there's a draw or something. So that's only down. There's lots of messages. Jesus. A lot of people repeating as well. Ahmed Ross. So the BGT is bigger than the Durga Moyanson. It may well be. I'm not sure what relevance to that. Do you think they're very? I don't think he's going to struggle against the Australian spinners at all. It's got that measure, in my opinion. Just looking at what we got as a comparison. Okay. It's going pretty well. Okay. Let's have a look in. So the BGT, the Border Gavaskar Trophy, seems to be the accepted abbreviation. I'm not a big fan of the abbreviation, but I'm gotten used to it and I'll accept it. Yeah. They're referring to a comment that Akash Naik said, the lose for love. Well, maybe not. Do you think that? Yeah, I've already talked about that. Virat Kohli's player of the series. Virat Kohli would be happy if he got message as contributing. I think he wants to stand out. He needs to be wary of that because he's getting out when he stands out. When he does a reverse park, or he hits his buzzer to say that from behind him when in fact there's no one near him. And he's not a renowned Australian driver. He's more of a person that's driven in the subcontinent, so not subcontinent, in the continent South America. Okay. Today's Nashville, they're both in full form, they'll be quite deadly. Catalyst James, Wills, Indigo with 3 spinners. Well, they've certainly been talking Nashville and Jadeja up, and they're looking like they're going to also include Aaron Finch, so yes. And the amount of spinners in the works, so you've got plenty to choose from. One of those guys don't play well. Catalyst James will Indigo with 3 spinners. They're likely to. I think there might be a spinner amongst the member of the team that we have at the moment. Earlier, the 2 aspects of the 2 lockable tickets or cards, we can actually do that. So it's probably likely that we won't need anyone else but be able to manufacture that part which is hanging out, which is now looping, and then give part of that to to one of the girls from Pakistan and the other being a Sri Lankan. There are very few left here this time. They've had their little stints and they're heading home. So far, we haven't moved that far in the traffic, which is a bit of a worry. But yeah, we're looking at sport watchers here. Anyone here a sports watcher? If you are, there's some golf coming up. So another track, obviously the Border Gavaskar Trophy is well and truly entrenched. It's doing well, but the Australian version is, I'm not sure, is it Health Valley, Hunter Valley? I'm not sure what it's called these days. Virat is the main person, yes, but I mean Kohli can be joined by Virat, Shreyas or Sky Kumar. Okay. Very excited about joining in. Sorry, I'm a bit on the yawning side. It is late. It's now getting past. It's 1:48 in the morning. Okay, so we've gone just about 57 minutes. Let's have a look here. So, are you happy with this? We've got a guest come out, have we? Reg Verner's come on. You've been waiting here long, Reg?
No, Norman. Just come on. How are you, fella?
I'm a little bit tired. I had a big day of posting and doing all things are going really well on the channel. We've got a lot of viewers at the moment. Obviously, the interest is high because Australia versus India.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a real bumper little period. We've got this series, which will be a cracker, the 4 test matches in Nagpur, obviously Delhi, Ahmedabad, which is the 4th, and the 3rd being in Dharamshala. Then we head into an IPL season of sorts. Who are England playing in the
New Zealand next week.
Against?
New Zealand next week in New Zealand, 2 tests.
Right, so the England players will be on their way, if not they're there already.
Yeah, I imagine that a few of them are probably still out playing the South African T20 maybe. But most of them be travelled, yeah, I would have thought.
Staggering, this whole IPL juggernaut, honestly, and it is an IPL juggernaut. I think I talked about it earlier. Marcus Stoinis got 7.8 for 2 months last year. The players are really heading north of 10 million for 2 months. But they're getting contracts almost up to 20 to play the entire year.
It's ruined the Big Bash, though, Norman, hasn't it? The IPL
ruined.
the South African tournament.
Yeah,
crippled you.
It's embarrassing because you see a lot of the newspaper hype in the Foxtel, the channel saying, "Oh, look, we packed Perth Stadium with 50,000 people." The fact is, Perth's got nothing else to bloody do, and everybody goes to sport there because they're bored.
It's beautiful city
where you play sport. That's it. There's not much else to do, really. It's a sport-loving place, but the crowds are generally down. The interest levels. I was on the streets of Coogee today, leading into the Australian series, and all the young kids. I don't think I got one young kid who said he was interested in cricket. It's predominantly the older adults that were interested, and that's it.
Yeah,
I reckon there's a real, especially men's cricket. Young kids are not playing much men's cricket. It's really dwindling. They're going to other sports like soccer Yeah, and I don't know what's it like in England.
I think cricket's still very popular as a sport. Um, I certainly think that with the brand of cricket England are now playing, that will only help because it's pretty extraordinary what they've done in the last 10 months of Test
Yeah,
cricket. Pretty much, um,
but
they put the
are
World
you?
Cup final on Freeview. Sorry, no, one second.
Yeah, I know. What I'm trying to say is though, and I'm only gauging from what I'm hearing. I haven't come across too many kids that have come up to me and said, "Oh, I want to be on your channel," because they will pass going cricket. Now, not for me. In an area
Yeah,
which is really heavily cricket related, the
yeah, it's
area that
bad,
I'm
isn't
living in
it?
is very, very heavily cricket related. There's no doubt about that. So it's
Yeah,
intriguing.
they need to think about but they need to think about the game, how the game's going, don't they? Because as I say, England's Test cricket has been extraordinary. But you look at what's going on, the West Indies Act in Zimbabwe. I mean, God's sake, um, what did they? But they scored 200 for Chanderpaul and 100 for Brathwaite, and both of them were strike rates of well under 50. You know, so the game's almost died. To get those runs, it's taken them virtually 2 days, over 2 days, to put 400 on the board. England did 500 in a day.
But do we
Um,
expect a Chanderpaul's son to be any different? Of course, he's going to craft
no,
down.
but I think the game's got to grow and change, Norman. I think it will change. I think what New Zealand went to Pakistan recently, played the same format as it's always been played, apart from the England series. And what happens? It was 3 draws. They didn't have time. They couldn't force the win, and the one game got close because they ran out of time and light, and because the run rate was at 3 over the Test series. I think it was about 3.2 or something for the series, and we know you can't get results. England scored at nearly 6.5 over the series. Norman, can you believe that? Who would have thought we'd ever say that in Test cricket? Norman, because we're two old farts, aren't we? Let's face it. We've been around a few years. 6.5 over a 3-match Test series. It's unbelievable.
So England playing New Zealand at New
Yeah,
Zealand home
yeah, yeah,
should level it up somewhat.
yeah. Well,
Although New Zealand played pretty commendably against England
yeah.
the
New Zealand
previous
are
year.
always good, and they're
England,
difficult. They're difficult at home, Norman. That's hard to go and play in New Zealand. And I think England will go and give it the same. But I think we'll probably. Well, I said we were going to lose in Pakistan because I didn't think we could do it and win out there, but we did it and won. I would be surprised if we don't have one complete capitulation in New Zealand on those wickets. Because the way you generally win in New Zealand is you bat long in the first innings at a very slow pace because it's dead and slow and it's doing a little bit, and that sets your game up a little bit. But I think England will probably go bish bash bosh, might be rolled for 130, might not be, might get 500, but we'll see. It'll be entertaining either way. It's not going to be boring.
well, McCullum, he himself has scored many a run for New Zealand in New
Yeah,
Zealand. It's
yeah,
scored, in fact, a 300 come out of him, or even a double hundred.
yeah. A quick one too.
Yeah,
Fastest one, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're saying that England should win this series, New Zealand?
I think it'll possibly be 1-0 either way with a draw. But of course, I say that, but Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes both came out before the Pakistan series on interview and said we aren't interested in draws. We're just not interested. We're not going to play for it. And Stokes backed that up on the field because he made a declaration in the second test that no other captain in world cricket.
It was magnificent.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I've never seen that friendly a declaration to try and win or lose a game. But it was the declaration that meant there would be a result. And catchers never do that when they're in the batting side to set up a declaration. They always go on at least 70 or 80 or 90 runs too many or 2 hours too many, Norman. You know that. It's always been the way because if you declare and lose, you get absolutely pilloried, don't you? But Stokes did it. I mean, Pakistan could have won that test easily. It wasn't even down to the wire. It was plenty. It was a great game, brilliant game of cricket.
When does the Test series start between England and New Zealand?
I think it's next Friday. It's definitely next week, back end of next. So, but Norman, I missed your prediction. Did you say 7-0 Australia to beat India?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm sure you did. Adam Hollyoak messaged me and said you just predicted 7-0.
That's something Adam Hollyoak might have put forward to me, and I refute that profusely. Can you refute something profusely? I guess you can. I have permission to refute that profusely. Oh.
So what do you reckon? I think Aussies will lose 4-0.
4-0, no, probably 3-1.
Well, we'll see. Because you know what happened with England.
Stark, they're without Green, they're without Hazelwood, which I don't necessarily think are the biggest losses because of the conditions. Boland won't be as effective.
But they haven't got the spin attack, Norman. They haven't got the class spin attack, have they?
They haven't.
Lyon, but Lyon's never got a wicket out there, has he? In the past, he's gone out. He's a good. What's what I look for? He said negative bowler. That's not what I mean. He's a good, solid bowler, but in Indian conditions, he's not running through and taking 5s and 6s. He's just going to hold the end up and go at a lowish rate. Where are your wickets coming from, Norman? Who's taking your wickets?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, to me, they're still not seeing the relevance of an Adam Zampa. I think he would be excellent.
Are they? Is he the squad? Is he out there?
No, he's not on the squad.
No, I didn't think so.
They persist with Swepson,
the new wonder kid. Is that right? Is that Murphy, Norman? Did you say the new spinner, the new lad, the leggy they've taken?
Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's played 5 first-class matches or something. Is that what I heard?
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with Lyon, and he's lasted quite a while. So I guess they do see something in Todd, yes. And he is bowling well domestically and has done well against the touring side. So
will they have the guts to play him?
They're gonna. I reckon they will. Yeah.
And will India then go after him straight away? Because that would be what the instructions will be, wouldn't it?
Well, they play 3 spinners. They could well go Agar, Todd Murphy, and Lyon. Swepson, I reckon, won't get a Guernsey anywhere.
Yeah.
That's really
but
the
do
way.
Any of them bat? Do they bat? I know Agar can hold a bat, but he's not a brilliant batter. But does Murphy bat?
No.
So hold on. So who are your seamers then? So you're going to have
Boland, Cummins.
Right. Hold on. So you got those 3 spinners who don't bat. Cummins is okay, but isn't a main batter. He's a number 8 or 9, really. And Boland's no bat. So all of a sudden, you're going to go in there with maximum 6 frontline batters.
Well, Green's the problem that he's not there. He's caused a bit of a hole because, although they're saying
Norman, you can't do that.
Back in the side.
If you do what you've just said, Norman, you're going in with your keeper at 6 because you've got your 5 bowlers after that.
Well, okay, let's look at the batting line. It has Warner and Kawaja are going to open a little bit, Overshane 3 and 4 will be Smith, right? Yep. Head seems to be the next at 5. They're considering Renshaw with Alex Carey as 6-7. And then you're looking at 4 bowls. You're looking at Agar, well, maybe Agar, but Boland, Lyon.
Can't do it. You can't do it, Norman. You got 5. You cannot go into a test series in India in the hot, spinny conditions that it's going to be with 4 bowlers. They'll be dead in the water. You just can't. You can't do it. If they get after one of the spinners, you're left with a spinner and 2 seamers. You've got to have 5. You've got to have 5 bowlers, Norman. Is there not an all-rounder?
Let's go back a second. Okay, let's go back to the side again. So Australia fancy Labuschagne and Head as bowlers, I'm afraid, which is wrong, but they do fancy them as bowlers.
Right.
So they do. Look at any of the in Pakistan, they had them both bowling. So
how'd they do?
I reckon they're going to do it again.
How did they do in Pakistan?
They won somehow.
Did they get any wickets though? Did they get any wickets? Labuschagne and Head. Not sure they got.
Head got a few wickets, surprisingly.
Okay. You understand what I'm getting at, Norman? I'm just
No, I
thinking that
do.
India are a bit better than Pakistan.
I think where we seem to be not really sure what to do with having lost Stark, Hazelwood, and Green as an all rounder. They're not really sure what they're doing, to be honest.
So they haven't
They're not
got an all
trusting.
rounder. You're saying Head's the all rounder in that side. You haven't got a Ben Stokes or someone.
No, not anymore.
No, it's a shame. That's a shame. How long's Cameron Green out for?
At least the first test.
Okay.
So he apparently will be back for the second. But see, Australia are going to struggle just for one factor. Like you're in India, we haven't won in Yonks. They tend to really make the wickets suit themselves.
Oh yeah.
They'll be extremely spin frenzied. They'll put 3 spinners in their team with Jadeja and Ashwin, and they'll also put Axar Patel in there. They're going to go pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, remember what happened when England played out there last year? The first test, the wicket was a normal cricket wicket, and England won. The groundsman got shot or certainly sacked. And the next 3 tests, they opened with a spinner and the ball went through the top in the first over, Norman. The second test, that wicket was so bad. It was so bad it went through the surface in the first over when opened with a spinner. And England got absolutely rolled. And unfortunately, Australia the same will happen. Now, Australia are a better batting side, of course, but no batsman, Warner and Khawaja aren't going to play it if it's turning square in the first over of the day. It just it's not cricket as we know it, Norman. And I know the Indian people watching won't like me saying that, but it's supposed to be a fair contest between bat and ball. That's the way the laws are written.
Hang on. Australia puts green tops to suit themselves. England bowls seaming or swinging wickets.
Well, so I don't think swinging you can't do anything about. New Zealand put a green tops out. I understand all that. But they are, even in England, where you say they've left a green top wicket, those games still go into day 4. You very rarely see a game in England that ends at just after lunch on day 2. So we'll see.
Oh, look, it's the Indian potency with Jadeja and Ashwin at home are pretty serious competitors. And Axar Patel, remember a few seasons ago when they tore apart the England batting line?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, constantly. Every time we played them out there, they tear us up.
I was seeing Bairstow go in when he was not even in form and he had to survive a short time. I think that game actually won.
Yeah.
No, it'd be very interesting. Now, your son was going to come on. He said he was going to come on in the messaging.
Oh, did he? He's been busy. So I just spoke to him actually before I came on. He's out and about, so I guess I'd be surprised if he can make it. Running around.
Is he playing against me in June?
I don't want to give anything away, Norm, because I don't think he knows yet. I don't think they've picked a side, but I guess
I think he's basically bashed the door down and please.
He has. I know. I don't want to say anything out of court, but I know he has requested to play in the game. But the way the MCC works, Norman, is that you get the list of fixtures, which you then put your name forward for, and then the captain then selects a side closer to the date. So I don't.
I mean, the fact is, it's not at Lord's, unfortunately, which upsets me because we're about to play a match against the MCC.
Yeah.
Here in Australia at Lord's. Sorry, at the SCG.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be.
Where are you playing? Do you know the venue? What venue is? Where's the venue?
At the SCG.
Yeah, no. When you're over here.
I'm not sure. It's not at this point Lord's, but that could change if we give them the SCG here.
Oh,
that could change. I mean, I played my 100th match for the SCG 11. And I was not meant to play tomorrow, but a player fell out. I'm in another game tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Have you made 10 runs yet in your career for him?
It's not relevant to how many runs I make. It's about...
It's just nice to get into double figures.
I'm afraid, don't you understand what cricket's all about, Richard? Take play for the spirit of cricket.
Yeah.
Not something about talent or... talent that's now gone. Yes.
If talent had anything to do with it, Norman, we wouldn't have played very much, would we?
I want to bowl to Chris this time, and he will regret the day he eggs me on because I'll take his wicket.
Well, I should come up for that game, Norman, or come down if you like from where I'm going to be.
Well, you and Munchie should come, and we'll get David Gravy along.
Yeah, it'll be. I'll certainly come up. We're certainly going to meet up anyway. That's for sure.
We should have you all there, and I mean, David should be there potentially as a future Australian selector, pseudo, or at least make recommendations, perhaps from afar, whether they'll take it on.
Yeah. So, do you think Australia will get anything out of the series against India, Norman? I mean,
I reckon they're going to win one match. I just don't know which.
They'll win a game. Wow, I can't see it. I just cannot see it. I think they'll give them a better game over here in June at the Oval or Southampton, wherever it's the Oval, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the Aussies will absolutely murder India at the Oval in June. That'll be a very different kettle of fish. Be a big, good place to play a game, though. I mean, look, that was great.
India didn't play that well against New Zealand when they played the other World Test Championship final, did they?
No, they lost the park.
That was at Hampshire, wasn't it?
Yeah, at Southampton, they picked the wrong side, I think, and they didn't play very well. And of course, New Zealand had just played 2 tests against England as a warm-up, and were right in form. Well, that's good planning, isn't it? I just don't. Yeah, I think Australia will do well to get a draw in this series, like they win the Ashes, of course. Norman, they'll do well to get a draw in that series as well.
Yeah, I think Australia's under the misconception they're going to win both the Indian series and the Ashes series, which I think they're kidding themselves. Very much kidding themselves.
Will start becoming out the old people's home for the Ashes, or are they going to pass?
Well, hang on. If it starts in an old people's home, what the hell is James Anderson and bloody that other drongo? What's his name? Is the blonde?
Stuart Broad. Yeah. He's not in the side, Broad, at the moment, is he?
Oh, they'll pull him out of the cotton balls for the
maybe. But so we got a certain Jofra Archer who might be back in the mix.
Well, yeah, is he injured? Not, he's back to full form.
Yeah, well, he played in 2 of the 3 one-dayers in South Africa, and in the 3rd one-dayer, you probably didn't see, he took 6 for 40 against South Africa, and
no one doubts his ability. Okay, no one doubts his ability.
Bowling at 90, Norman, 90 miles an hour.
He's a pretty awesome bowler for sure. But we've got this young Lance Morris at the moment who's going to be threatening. I met his father, and he raved about him, and he's been given a lot of raps here. He's one of the few bowlers to bowl at Mark Wood's pace.
Because you could have Wood and Archer this summer. Anderson, Wood, Archer, and Stokes, and Wokes. Wokes is a handful in England. Chris Wokes,
yeah, he is.
real handful. He averages amazingly well under 20 in English conditions. Chris Wokes, good bowler.
Broad Folks what's happened to Folks? Is he still?
He'll keep wicket. Yeah, he'll be keeping wicket. I should think he kept wicket in Pakistan and batted really well. He's a good player, Ben Folks. Really, really good player. He's not going to bash it around like the top 6 will.
Yeah.
They're all just going to go for it again. They'll just carry on. It won't change, Norman. It's going to be a very entertaining Ashes.
Right. Well, I mean, as I repeat again, I had my 100th match for the SCG11.
Yes. How did it go? Tell me what happened.
Well, it was a T20. It was Twilight. It's called a Twilight Series. Yeah. Rushcutters Bay, where actually Mr. Parkinson, your famous, your compere or
Michael
talk show host, lives just nearby.
Yeah.
He overlooks the ground.
Yeah. Did he come watch or did he play?
No, he didn't come and play or watch, but he normally does do exactly that.
Yeah.
And we did okay in the field. I dropped a catch at the first slip, but that's either here or there. It was a difficult chance. But
they can hide you,
it didn't come on. Normally, a slip catch comes at you. This went, it came off the bat and it popped and actually
lobbed at you and you dropped it.
And when you're at first, you expect the ball to come at you, not lob and then just continue to go away from you. It was too slow. I was too fast for it, which says a lot.
Yeah, that's not something you hear every day, Norman, is it? You're too fast.
No. Well, let's not go.
Bowl? Did you bowl?
I got hit around, I must say. I didn't take a wicket. I was a bit out of touch. I didn't have enough bowls under but I'm playing tomorrow night as a sub for someone who's out, so I can make up for it. So I intend to
Bat,
do that.
Norman, did you get
It's
into
only 20 overs. How can I get to bat if I'm not batting high enough? I've got to give young blokes that go in front of me. You know what it's like when you're the older guy, although a veteran of 100 matches, and some young bloke turns up, he's got to be given a bat and even a ball before you do.
You sound a bit upset about that, Norman.
I'm being very generous and supportive of my young steeds. So we're going to Wimbledon when we're there.
Are you?
We're going to
Awesome.
Ascot, going to Lords. We're going to be playing
Wow.
cricket. Quite a tour.
You need to bring your full kit for Ascot, Norman. You have to wear smart clothes. I know you haven't got any. You have to buy a shirt and tie.
Well, I mean, I'm expecting you to get me another one of those MCC either ties or. I mean, I know I'm meant to not get them, but an honorary person that I am.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Chris will sort you out, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it'll be. I mean, this will be. I've gone in 2009, 13, 15, 19. This will be my 5th Ashes tour under the SCG11 banner.
That's awesome. It must be so thrilled, Norman. You're lucky.
I love it.
You know how lucky that is. That's brilliant.
Well, we have played at Lords. We played at the Nursery Ground as well. We've actually played at Duke of Norfolk's living at Arundel Castle. We played there.
Yeah.
Played at late was at Carnarvon, where the Downton Abbey Castle is.
Yeah.
We play on Lord Vestey's property there at Stowell Park and a couple other Ripley Castle.
Wormsley's nice. We played at Wormsley. That's nice.
Yeah, we've got to play Windsor Castle as well. Played Dulwich Hill.
Yeah, nice. Played there. Yeah, no. Yeah, played there. Beautiful.
Where David Hooks played, where I think Lehman also played.
Yeah, beautiful there.
Oh, it's a lot. And they have a regular guy that turns up that he does poetry, but it's more of a comical type poetry and it relates to the game. He gets all the names. He hasn't got a clue who the players are, but he brings them all into this little essay that he does, and it's quite well.
So, are there any questions that need answering, Norman? We've been chatting away talking about nothing.
Will India play 3 spinners?
Yes,
I think so. They'll be mad not to. We got a lot of people putting questions forward. Who will win the battle, Smith or Jadeja?
Well, it's not. Hold on, they're not the same player, are they?
Well, one's going to bat, one's going to bowl.
One Smith's a batter and Jadeja's more of a bowling all-rounder, isn't he, really?
Yeah, but Smith does struggle against Jadeja, well, I can recall. So it's a fair question.
Sorry, I meant who had the better series as again. Oh, I think Smith's a better batter than Jadeja is a bowler.
Do you?
Yeah. I think Smith's in a bit of resurgence of form at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, all that was against short form stuff at a BBL level. Let's not get excited about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way: if the wickets aren't complete dross to play on, then I think Smith will go well. But if it's literally a minefield and no one can bat on it, then of course Jadeja's going to get the better of him. He'll get the better of every bloody batsman, money, Norman.
Jadeja should never be underrated. He is a very good bowler.
No. Yeah, he's a very good bowler. I'd love to have him in.
He's got 250 wickets or whatever he's taking.
Super bat as well. He's brilliant in the field. I imagine he's good in the dressing room as well, Norman. You know how much that counts. I imagine he's a great guy to have around.
He's well loved by the whole.
Yeah, I like him. But I think I'd like to see Smith go well against him.
So who's going to win between Smith and Jadeja then?
They're 4 tests, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if Smith doesn't get a couple of big scores. So does that make it fairly even? If Jadeja gets him out 3 times and Smith gets a couple 100 runs, I don't know.
Yeah,
about evens. I think that's evens because Ashwin might get Smith, might he? Ashwin's better bowling than Jadeja, isn't he? In Indian conditions, so And the third spinner, it's going to be the third spinner, Axar Patel. You think?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's that great a player. Well, he only plays in India, doesn't he? He's no good outside India.
Australia.
Sorry?
He played well in Australia.
Well, Axar Patel, did he? He got
Yeah,
wickets.
he and Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar played, I'm pretty sure, in that match which they won the series on. So those flashes.
I'd be interested to see his away stats, Axar Patel, away from India. I bet they're not great. I can remember him bowling in Australia where he got whacked all round it. I try and which way.
I think he did, but he did play well in one match which they ended up winning. So
fair enough.
he can't knock him.
Fair enough. I'd be interested if Virat comes back to form, Norman. What do you think? Virat.
I'm excited about that. Have you had a good look at his record?
Years.
Have you had a good look at his overall record? He's now ranked 6th in the world for all formats in terms of runs scored.
Yeah.
And all he needs is about 2,000 or 3,000 more, and he'll catapult in the second from all formats, and the only behind Tendulkar.
But Norman, he hasn't scored a Test 100 for 5 years.
Yeah, but he just peeled off a couple of centuries just recently. So
yeah, but but who's that against?
He's okay. Hang on a minute. His batting average. Now wait for this. In this all formats batting average, right? His batting average is 53. He is the only player in the virtually the top 50 players of all time to have an average of 53 or over 50 in all formats in its entirety. That's pretty bloody impressive. No one. He's 6, none above him and none below him. The first person to go near him is, of all people, Steve Smith, and he's about 40th, 50th and he has a batting average of just on 50 for all formats, right? Whereas Kohli has 53.9 or something for all formats. It's pretty impressive. I tell you, it shouldn't be. And he scored his second most centuries behind Tendulkar. After Tendulkar's 100, he's got 74. Now, no one's near him. So if he keeps his nose clean for 2 or 3 seasons and gets, say, 3,000 more runs, he'll catapult in the second spot. Whether he reaches Tendulkar is doubtful because he scored 25,000 plus in all 3 formats. Kohli will need. I think Kohli's now. He's within reach of this up to second place, and he needs 3,000 on to get second. I think it's more like 10,000 to get first.
How long did he get given, Norman?
Career, whatever their career is.
How long would an Australian guy get given in a Test team as a batsman who hadn't scored 100 for 5 years?
Not many.
That's what I'm getting at. Because he
but it still just takes away from the fact of how well Kohli has actually done. Despite having an awful last maybe 5 to 8 years, it's been pretty awful. He still has scored. He's still scored at an average of 53 in all 3 formats. That's impressive.
I heard a very, very interesting stat the other day, Norman. In the history of one-day cricket, only 4 batsmen have averaged over 40 and with a strike rate of over 100.
Really?
Okay. The whole of one-day cricket history, there's only 4 batsmen.
Who are they?
I will tell you, 2 are South African and 2 are English. 3 of them are currently playing. One's retired.
Okay, I'm going to say, well, De Villiers is one.
De Villiers, yeah. At number 1 by miles.
Kevin Peterson is in there.
Who, sorry?
Kevin Peterson?
Nope. 2 current English players and 1 current South African player. Surprisingly.
Oh, God, not Pavuma.
Nope. David Miller has played 101 days, averages 40-something and strike rate of over 100. Johnny Bairstow averages 46, I think, in one-day cricket at a strike rate of 118 or something silly. At a guess,
and Josh making it a Test level numbers, isn't he?
Yeah, he's good. He had a good summer. And Butler's the other one, Josh Butler.
Amazing.
Yeah, no one else has averaged over 40 with a strike rate of over 100. Over a career.
Impressive, but go to Virat Kohli. Can't have a look at his stats.
Oh, yeah, yes, strike rate. I imagine he averages over 40.
53 batting average in all 3 formats.
Yeah, no, that's
the only batter in the virtually top 50 to be over 50. That's
What's the
impressive.
test match batting average now, Norman? I haven't got the stat. I haven't got anything in front of me. I don't know. I imagine that must have dropped down because I imagine he's only averaging low 30s over the last 5 years. I guess.
Yeah, but if your overall average after all that time for all formats is still 3, you're doing pretty bloody well.
I mean, that's more runs than you scored for the SCG 11 in 10 years, isn't it? 53.
Look, when you've played on the MCG and the SC, then start to talk to me because otherwise I talk to the hand because
for me,
the hand knows more than you. I'm legendary on the SCG, having taken numbers of clumped amounts of wickets. And yeah, I've got, must be 30 wickets in total. I don't know.
Yeah, 30 wickets in 100 games. Yeah.
Don't knock it until you do it.
Carl, let's get some questions. There must be some good questions. Come on, before you go, no, I know you got to go, but
I'm trying to. Mr. Cool says he'll win the battle between Smith and Jadeja. We've already answered that. Shabil Bahalia says Aaron Finch has to come. No, he doesn't.
No,
Aaron
Finch
Finch
retire. He's 36, isn't he? He's gone. He's
retired
gone
today. Neumann Garg, do you think India can dominate world cricket as Oz did from late 90s and early 2000s?
Nope.
Why not?
I think they're an aging side. I think Sharma, Rohit, Virat, they're all coming towards the end of their careers. Ashwin definitely is coming to the end. Jadeja's younger, but they're coming towards the end. And players tend not to get better as they age. I'm not saying they won't. Jimmy Anderson's point in question, he's got better with age, but players tend not to get better with age. Spinners often can, but batters they're not to Norman.
Shubman Gill is coming through. There's a bit of youth there.
Let's see how they go. Let's see how they go in different countries, Norman.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll dominate. I think you're going to find that England are rewriting Test cricket at the moment, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out.
The biggest test will be against Australia.
It will, because they're going to go for it, and that'll be hard against the Australia side, who are good. Don't get that. Let's not be about the bush here. Australia are very, very good, but they've been very
Australia
good.
have not been tested. This is the problem. They have not been tested against the West Indies or South Africa.
No.
They're going into a series in India, which they probably do almost right off because of the conditions.
Yeah.
They'll be going in rather cold to the World Test Championship.
And then they're going to play a very, very quick series, Ashes. It's the most constricted Ashes series ever. It's been played early. We normally play it July and August and September.
Well, they're squashing it in so they can play your stupid 100.
Yeah. So it's June. It's starting in June this year. So the conditions will be different in June. English summer would suggest that it might seem and swing a little bit more early season. Although it's still summer, but the wickets tend to be at their driest in August. So the spinners might not come into it at all. I know Australia will play Lyon, but England might not even bother with Leach. Although Stokes does like that balance, he does like Leach. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think, in answer to the question, I do not think India will dominate cricket in Test cricket.
You don't think they will?
No, I don't. I think Australia are there, England are up there. Pakistan, I think, are a better side than they. I think there's some good youngsters coming into the Pakistan setup. I've always liked Pakistan. So I like watching them play.
Yeah, I'm very frustrated because I think they deserve to be in the World Test Championship final as opposed to India, but they've stuffed up against England when I think they should have beaten England at home. They really should have. And, but Ben Stokes' boldness came through, but there was a killer punch missing in Pakistan. I don't know what happened there.
England took 3 wickets in 3 tests.
But there's still enough.
Never happened before.
That Pakistan should have overcome England at home anyway.
Yeah.
We've got a big audience today. A lot of people watching this.
What if they want to ask some questions while we're on? They won't get 2 better-looking guys to answer.
Mr. Cool, who will win the battle? Keep asking the Smith Jadeja question.
We've answered it.
Do you think India can dominate world cricket. We've talked about that. Can Hanscom play? I don't really think Hanscom should be in the side. Mainly because he was actually looked over because he didn't perform well. How he got back in the side is beyond me.
Techniques, shot, can't play with a technique like that. Smith gets away with it because Smith is a one-in-a-generation cricketer.
He has a medical qualification, and he came to the test. I think it was the test match, and someone had to be taken care of, and he went rampaging like the White Knight. So I'm not sure that's helped him. A lot of the players are getting involved in committees, and through that, they're still prolonging their careers, which annoys me a little bit. The Australians getting quite greedy. They're all looking at what's happening with, well, the women's IPL, of course, starts soon, and the likes of Melissa Healy will get $300,000 plus for 2 weeks, 2 months, which is heaven for them.
Amazing for them. Will David Warner make it to the Ashes, Norman, after he has a terrible series here against India?
Who knows? He'll probably get injured with head, and they'll be all out.
Yeah.
I believe that Warner's best cricket is behind him. He scored a big double century recently, but his best cricket is behind him, and he'll suffer on the big one.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so India play in the first 4 tests, and you're saying, what was your prediction?
4-0
to India.
certainly not Australia. No, I think if Australia
I can't imagine them being 4-0.
If they get 3-0, Australia have had a decent series, I think. If they can get a draw, won the tests, I'll be gobsmacked. I just don't think the wickets allow it, Norman. I don't think India are going to allow the cricket to be played that we would consider cricket to go 5 days. There will not be a 5-day wicket in there. You know what I'm getting at. I just don't think. I just don't see it. If the wickets are flat, if the wickets are like they are in the IPL, when you go out and it's the batters, because you can get brilliant wickets in India. They can prepare proper cricket pitches, but they won't. If they do, I think Australia could well get a 1-1 if the wickets. But it's not going to happen.
Well, look, I can assure you that Nagpur and Ahmedabad are gone. They're going to be doctored wickets.
Yeah.
They'll both. Where's the 2 places? One is Dharamshala, which is.
Shouldn't use the word doctored.
Maybe the better playlist.
Shouldn't use the word doctored. I think underprepared might be.
Yeah. And the other is the pitch in Delhi is normally a 1-day pitch, so it probably will be a batter's paradise. I'm assuming that's the only one that I think Australia's got a chance of winning.
Yeah, I'll be amazed. I'll be amazed if they do that, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll be cheering the Indians on anyway. Of
course. I know you would.
Cheering India on. Nothing better than seeing the Aussies get tonked.
Well, if they play Hanscom, they'll have an extra wicket to play with because
he's not in the squad, is he? Is Hanscom in the squad?
I don't know. I do not know because he played so badly the last time he played for Australia. I know he scored a century somewhere in amongst them, but he has been poorly placed form-wise. Matt Renshaw, on the other hand, has been doing very well and probably will get the Guernsey ahead of Hanscom, I'd say at this stage, especially because Cam Green's not there. They played Renshaw in the last test. Actually, they played him in the last test we had just recently. So
but you played
looks like
4 frontline bowlers. If Renshaw plays at 7, at 6. No, because Head's at 6. Head's at 5. Yeah, Smith at 4, Head's at 5. You're saying Renshaw's 6, Carey at 7.
That's what they played the last test.
Yes, but that's in Australia. You cannot play in India with 4 frontline bowlers.
That was meant to be a rehearsal for the test series, and that was actually at the SCG.
So you think they're going to go into a series in India with Boland and who's the other quick?
Cummins.
Boland and Cummins and Agar and Lyon as your frontline bowling, and expect to bowl India out.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Not going to happen, Norman. I tell you, it's madness.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you how it is. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I just
I still think Adam Zampa should have been given his chance. They groomed him to play for New South Wales in the Red Ball game. They groomed him to play and be ready for the India series, and then they didn't give it to him. And I'm really ticked off because he's worked his butt off, that guy, and he's played everything. He's done everything what's been asked of him. He's won matches for Australia in the short format. He's actually a really good bowler, but for some reason they just seem to not want to put him in the test. Anyway.
There we go. All right, Norman, I'm going to love you and leave you. Are we going to talk
All right,
during
thank you very much, Richard. Well, I'll be on during the test whenever you want your time. Okay.
Okay. Well, what time does it start?
3 o'clock my time. So that's
afternoon.
3 in the afternoon my time.
Okay, so that's 3 a.m. give or take, or 1 a.m.
9 hours behind, aren't you, or 10?
I think we're 9 or 10 behind.
What time is it now?
3:30 in the afternoon.
It's 2:30 here in the morning.
Right. Okay. So you're
that's
starting.
That's actually 11. That's 11
today.
hours. That's 11 hours.
Is it starting
So
in an hour?
we'll be 3 o'clock start means it'll be a 4 a.m.
4 a.m. I might
where you are.
I might miss some of that.
When about 3 hours into the match, it was 7 a.m. You might want to mosey on down.
I have chores to do in the mornings, Norman. I have chickens
Wear
and
your
dogs.
PJs.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a sight. That'll cheer the Indian fans up, won't it? All those girls
I don't know whether this is not going to win votes, but just one last comment. Lalit says, "How are you? I am from Nepal." So there you go. We've reached Nepal now.
Well, a lovely country that's meant to be, Norman. I'd love to.
There's plenty of other comments. Oh my God, there's some. I'm scrolling through. I've got way too many questions. Can't keep up with all. I'm scrolling madly. I'm still not in. Norman, are you in India? No, Shubman Giri, I'm not, but I'm trying to get there. Still, my mother's probate for her estate went through last Thursday.
Okay.
As the executor now, I can sort all that out, and if everything goes right with the banking and everything, I could be leaving in 2 weeks for a long time.
Okay. Well, go to India, then over to England.
Yeah, a partner's with me today. She did a video which has been uploaded. You can see it.
That's fantastic. Say, please pass on my best. Lovely lady.
Yeah, she is. She's really nice, and she's had a hard time lately. I won't go into the detail, but she's fine now.
Well, wish her best wishes, please.
I will.
So no other questions to answer. If not, I shall leave you.
All right then. Thank you, Richard.
Right. Have a great one. Cheers, everyone. Good luck to India and bad luck to Australia. See you soon, guys.
Nasty. See you. Well, there you go. Richard Devane has joined us with some very learned facts. We've been on for an hour and 42 minutes. We've kind of done well here. I don't think we've got much more time. We've got over 100,000 people, 110,000 have viewed. We've got, let's have a look here. We've got it's been a good viewing day for me. So, any more questions, guys? Do you think, due to longevity, Ashes are better than the Border Gavaskar Trophy? At this stage, it is. It has got the history, guys. We've got to remember the way that the BGT, which is the Border Gavaskar Trophy, is certainly got a standard to behold. But I think that we certainly still knock it out of the park with the Ashes, which is coming up this year. Pretty heavy little routine for us all, but still pretty damn good, I would argue. So now it's 2:30 a.m. I'm where I am. Makes it 9 p.m. where you guys are. W is better than L. Laugh a lot. Whose W is better than L? Western is better than L. Is that what that is? I'm not sure. Tell me, guys. I think give me a bit of a hint as to what that means. So yeah, we're going we'll tell wise. We've got an incredible amount of forethought there. And yes, do like, if you like and share the posts, do add subs for me. They're going very well. 34,886. We're heading very close to 35. We're getting closer and closer to 35,000. I'd like to reach 35,000 if we could. That'll be nice. Be very nice indeed. So yeah, we've got a lot of going on. Again, the Indian side is likely to be Rahul with Rohit, with Shubman Gill floating around in the top water, with Pujara, Kohli. I think Shreyas Iyer, and then you might go Shubman Gill. Sky will probably miss out. You go either Bharat or Kishan Gajam. Bharat looks more favoured. Then you go into the bowlers of Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Ashwin, and then you've got Siraj and probably Shami as the other positions. Pretty impressive. So what do you think about I am saying if patches are for sure if patches are for sure pitches you mean pitches I can't see them making pitches for Australia, so they're going to favour India and they're going to favour their spin bowling attack. Certainly it's going to be the case in Nagpur. Delhi might be a bit of a different story, but then you get to the two whammies, Dharmashal and Ahmedabad, which are quite frankly spinning wickets or low bouncing wickets, which will suit the Indian batters and certainly suit the bowlers. So Australia's only weapon really is bowling, but he doesn't seem to be, well, he hasn't been proven as unconfident. See how he goes. It's probably the only worry that we've got at this point. I would say that's the only worry that we've got there. But otherwise, yeah, okay. Bold data. Okay, I think King Kohli will bounce back in the series. What do I think? I think he will. I think he's due, and he's been doing so well in the shorter format. If he can convert that into the longer format here, it's the time that he wants to do it. Don't you think talking about pitches questions one's ability to win away matches? Yes, I agree. When we're in Australia, we have green tops. You need to play on that pitch. You play in South Africa, also get fairly good bouncing wickets. You play in New Zealand, they've got more the spinning wickets. You play in England, you get the seaming, swinging wickets. And then ultimately, that's the way it is. So you play the conditions in India as predominantly a spin haven. Okay. Trust me, for the next 50 years, you will not win in India. Thank you. That's confidence there for the Australians. Mohit Patel, Australian jam, will come to see the match. Australian PM, okay. Obviously, but it's a shame. Ahmedabad, well, it may go the 3 days match, maybe a serious aside. It could well be, but I don't think it will be. I think for it to be a serious aside, India have not performed to their best. That's the one thing for sure. It'll be an underwhelming Indian side there if they can't win the series before then. That's my thoughts anyway. I mean, every country take advantage of home grounds. Of course, the Aussie players do the same. Of course, they would. You're totally right. It is true. There's no reason why they shouldn't do it. It's just the way it is. Bakul data, my bow data. What do you think about the Sunil Gavaskar statement? Well, Sunil Gavaskar is not to be knocked for anything he says. He might say something out of line, but I think generally he's pretty good. What do you think about this Sunil Gavaskar statement? I think it's fair. Which is your favourite team after in Australia? Cricket-wise, South Africa certainly is up there, but no, I'd say England. Love from India, thank you. Ahmed Raza, pray for Turkey and Syria. Yeah, the poor buggers have had a really bad time. It's been on 7.8 Richter scale. 7.8 is just phenomenally bloody big. It's just ridiculously big. Oh my God, it's a massive, massive thing. Bloody scary. Chonku, given the look of the pitch, it will be pretty tough for the Australian team to win. I know that's fourth. Edwards, Love, say one side. Okay. That's not going to be a very good story to bring it back home, is it? Yeah. Sunil Gavaskar once said that Coley is the greatest format batsman. I think he is. Of all formats, yes. Fair call. Fair call. Fair call. I've got no qualms about that being the case. Then 105 more subscribers to reach 35,000 guys. 105, that's pretty good. Ashes or BGT? Well, I mean, look, the Border GAVASKAR Trophy is gaining its momentum, so I've got a lot of credit for it. The Ashes has always been superb, though. It's hard to look between the two, but the Ashes is Ashes, and the BGT, which I don't like an abbreviation, is also great. Ahmed Raza, can Aussies topple India? No, I don't think so. They'll be lucky to survive and get a 3-1 loss, I think. Could well go 4-0. I don't know whether it'll be that much of a trouble. That'll mean Australia will play the World Test Championship against India at the Oval in June, early June next year, and it'll be this year, so it'll be an absolute blockbuster. You can't knock that, that's for sure. Absolutely. Should Australia go with 3 spinners? Who will they? The top Murphy and Agar and Lyon? I don't think so. But they might. You never know. They might. They might. Yeah, they may do that. Ended to win 7-0. Richard Vernon, would you go to sleep? You're not supposed to be on the program, then start making comments. With Warney, was he here to watch? Yeah, well, Warney's not here. He's unfortunately underground, isn't he? Deep under the ground. So, Zigwan Gaming, sir, how do you see Virat in the Nagpur test? I think he might make a statement early. I really do. I'd love to see him do that. I think it'll be fantastic if he can put a statement early and really give it to Australia, because it'll set the scene for a very aggressive test, which we know that Kohli is capable of. Australia is too pretty capable of a test of that nature. We'll wait and see. No, Richard Vernon, they're not winning 7-0. I've just already mentioned it. Couple, Verma, how are you? Believe me, more than bowling, it's the batting which is going to decide. Okay, we'll see. Robert Raj, what do you think about Indian crowds at Test Cricket? Great, fantastic, loud, and a lot of fun. Buckled on it. Only what Kohli has the guys to sledge, has the guts to sledge. Well, maybe true, but maybe that's true. You got to be careful who you sledge. Let's be honest. You don't want to sledge a Kohli, Tendulkar, or Brian Lara, because you'll cop it. Okay, so yeah, that's the whole thing there. So I've gone quite a long way with this session. On 12,000 in the last 14 hours. Oh my God. Steve Smith's gone 45,000. Boomer may figure, he could figure. Looking forward to the Marnus. It will be a big series for him. I think he'll struggle. India 3, but I think India will win the series 2-1. What do you think? I think 3-1. That's the back. Okay. All right, guys. We might call it quits there. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. Almost 2 hours. I'll just get a drink. Give me a sec, guys. Give me just 2 seconds. I'll get a drink. And we'll see how we go. And we'll consider cutting this, all right? Give me a sec. Oops. Right. Oh, good. So we're looking at Incredible series. Tell me what you guys think. I've said 3-1. Some people are saying 2-1. Does anyone see Australia winning? No? T. Gill, what do you say? So what do you think about IPL? I think it's great. It's still the leading competition in the world for short format, and it does well. Because of that, lots of players miss international matches, but suddenly get an injury for the upper front. Well, money talks. This bowler will be take the most wickets. Okay, good question. In the entire series, I think Jadeja, I think. Certainly from India, Jadeja. Australia, I'm not lying. Bowling could have a great series, but I doubt he will. To where we lie. 11 comes, most wickets, an injury-free Jadeja. That's my thoughts. But who do you think? Yeah, that's right. I'm still in Australia, yes. Maybe one of the days, it may be 2-1. That means a draw. Right? Now, guys, we're 100 subs off 35,000, which is a bit of a milestone for me. You get me another 100 more subscribers, and I'll be happy. All right? So what you do is you send to 5 to 10 people a link to this and tell them to subscribe. Bummer plays well. He could be the man to fall back on. Of course, Ashwin's another diabolically difficult player to play. It'd be pretty amazing if he does get to play. Arthur's best is back. 7-0, what a joke. That was Richard Vernon talking with Adam Holyoke in the past. You can't win 7-0 when there's only 4 matches. Right? AJ Sandhu. You see, Rahul is keeping the business. KL Rahul could be the keeper. He could be. Big burden on him to open the batting and keep. It could happen. Which frees them up to have another bowler. Isn't it? Or another bowler. Major coup if you can do it. But I don't think so. Barrett seems to be more worthy of the keeping position. Ishan Kishan is certainly on the short format. Gaurav Kakar. India will go with the traditional keeper, I'm pretty sure, which would be someone like Barrett. You're waiting for me in India. I'm going to be there one day, aren't I? Our Earth is best. Aussies will definitely win this series if India continues to struggle against spin, and if Head shows his best form again. Travis Head as a bowler. Travis Head will have an awful series. We'll drink Warner, and Head will have ordinary series, and even Labuschagne will have ordinary series. Steve Smith will come to the fore. So will Kawaja. I just saying this on Gill or Rahul to open. If Rahul decides to keep, that might force the issue and he may go in the order and let Gill open it. That would be the answer. Not a bad selection, okay. Putting Gill in the open and Rahul down the order to keep. Much better batter than Burrow. So my favourite stadium in India would have to be Dharamshala for its location. Dharamshala is my favourite stadium. Definitely. But then Wankhede, Brabourne, and Mumbai, Chennai's Madras Stadium, they're all good. Eden Gardens is amazing. But I thought Dharamshala because of the backdrop. A bit like Cape Town. The other thing, Aussie youngsters are as heralded about this series. Australia's a bit apathetic at the moment about this. I don't like it. We've just had a very successful summer. We've beaten West Indies and South Africa easily. I reckon India's more enthusiastic than Australia, to be honest with you. I would say. Just my thoughts. And TK Music, we're a big fan. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ahmed Raza, how can we forget Pat Cummins? He's the best exponent of reverse swing. Okay. Yeah, but with captaincy burdening him, not quite that easy. Have you gone and checked my other videos out, guys? I've got quite a few new videos today. 34,910 subscribers, which is pretty good. What do you think, guys? I haven't been live for a long time, so I'm quite happy to go a bit longer today because I haven't been on for a while. It is fast approaching 3 in the morning. But view, like, and share the post and subscribe will help me get more traction to Why are you not in it? Well, okay, my mother passed away last June. In the process, you have to actually get what they call probate, which means settling all the property issues in terms of settlement. That takes a bit of time. Went through last Thursday, and I have to do a bit more opping up and finish that before I go. Then I'm going for a long time. How do you rate Jason Behrendorff as a fast bowler? In the short format, pretty good. Long format, not necessarily good. T. Gill, I think Gill is better suited for Test and ODIs. 220 will not suit him. Okay, fine. Well, he could be well with the opener, and they may well put Rahul down the order. And Brown boys, who will win, and I think India's going to win 3-1. That's my honest opinion. I don't think Australia's got much hope. And even to get the one match that I'm talking about, it'll be interesting which one it'll be. It'll probably be Delhi. I'm doing Dharamshala, they haven't got much hope. And the first one, Nagpur, will also go India's way. Toxics here, Ahmed Ross, Travis Head is vulnerable against quality spinners here, right? He will replace Stark in T20. And something is what, Behrendorff? No. What do you think Marnus will be successful. I don't think he'll be successful in India. To be honest with you, I don't think he'll be successful at all. Okay. Awesome. Who do you think? Marnus will not be successful. What are you eating, mate? Barbecue flavored coated nuts. Pounds. Spicy enough to keep me awake. Okay. Ian Chappell backed Murphy over Agar. It is a narrative that right-handers don't get out to the off-speakers. Okay. I don't agree. Too early for Tom Murphy, in my opinion. Way, way too early. I think that Stephen Smith's average versus spin in the series will be about 22 to 28. That's pretty poor, isn't it? Not forgetting Coley's by far the most talented when it comes to his record. No doubt at all. Now this one here is, where's the pitch? There it was there. I think Trevor said can play. No, I don't think he's going to do it. If you wiped out Nagpur track, will be flat. And Nagpur won't be flat, I can assure you. I think if Travis Head, Travis Head is just not going to perform well, I don't think, in this series. Not his bread and butter. I'm sorry, that's my thoughts. Any other questions, guys? This is a question time of the night. We've gone 2 hours this time. You to ask me questions. What is the time in Australia right now? It is 2:58 a.m. And M131's laughing. It's 2:58 a.m. Just about 3 a.m., which makes it about what, 9:30 there? It's about 9:30 there, 9:30 p.m. Not past your bedtime, but past mine. You like my cap? Well, it says eyes on cricket with Norman Coshley. T-Girls, Bencons. I saw you come MH31. Gill at 5 and Jadu is cool with the case. I think Carey will also not only get spin the he's not great at spin either. Amit Gupta, come to India. I will. Answer the question. Answer what question? Who is your best cricket commentator? Mine is Howie. Mark Howard, oh God. No, he's not a good cricket commentator, I think, at all. Really, the best that are alive, Jimmy Maxwell. Great cricketers are already here. Good on them. They can be there. I don't know whether they're anything too excited about. All right, first session of the test is very important. It certainly is. Thank you, everyone. Thank Cricket India. Yep. A favourite cricketer in India? Kohli. First session of the test is most will be. It certainly is. Sets the tone of the whole series. Absolutely sets the tone of the whole series. I believe Australia will pull this off. I don't think so. I think Australia will win the toss. This is, but they were only by third by 3, and I think they're going to win the first. So it's England, which is the greatest rivalry. It certainly it has been. It has. Ended to win 7-0. It can't win though. I thought it was match. No, I think it'll be 3-1. And if Australia's going to win, they'll be winning in Delhi. I think because it's flatter track. If you're at 100, I hope he does get 100. Is Matt Short Australia next white ball opening bat? No, I don't think so. India is Pakistan, or India is Pakistan is great. Australia is England is also great. Australia is India is also great. They're all good. Rishad Punt is a serious miscarriage. Can't agree. What happened to the Australian Aussies fire? In the past, yeah, there's no fire in the semi. Right, cricket all the time. It has to be Brevin. Brevin for sure. Brevin definitely. Favorite cricket of all time. I've already said that about 5 times, and I would say it's Virat Kohli and Tendulkar from India, but Bravin's the best ever. Virat Kohli, father Pakistan. Well, okay. This Ice captaincy thing is amazing. I don't think Raquel Rahul is the best player. No, I would agree with that. All right, we've been going for quite a while here, guys. It's 2 hours limit. So India win the series again. I would agree with that. Prediction for the Border GAVASKAR Trophy. Vinay Chandrakar is India 3, Australia 1 for the 4 matches. What will be the man of the match? Series Kohli. Perhaps Gill. Okay, I'll turn around. Gill will play real well. Kohli will get the player of the series. Why wouldn't he? I think he'll go very close to man of the series. You're right. I want Vic Hunt from Sports Stack just now was what was that? I didn't catch that. Was exploring how the pitch was looking. They have a diagonal dry pitch. Oh, that certainly is a dry pitch, and it's going to take spin from day one, ball one almost. I've got no doubt. Are we shocked? No. No reason to be shocked. No reason to be shocked at all. Okay. Virat will be the player match, yes. Best player will be Virat Kohli. I'd say so. Spin from ball one. Yeah, of course it will be. Kohli's underrated, yes, absolutely. Axel is it'll be Axel for some reason. Dangerous pitch for left-handed batters, especially left-hand bowlers bowling too. So can I get your number? What? No, my number is. You message me through WhatsApp. Not WhatsApp. Sorry, through Messenger. We can keep in contact. You got me on Facebook, and you got me on Instagram. At Norm Koch, you can get me. Okay. at Normkoch. Agar would be playing. Why is it best for Veracoli? Veracoli, it's his own conditions in his own. And I don't think that Stevens will have enough support. Who is better? Coley or Smith? Coley, definitely record-wise at this point. Go to the all formats record. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go to the all formats record. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Kid 2 Vero. So sent me wants to see a message. Okay. Please talk in Hindi. You have to teach me Hindi. I can't talk in Hindi if I'm not being taught by someone in Hindi. I can speak Sinhalese. I can speak German. Can even speak Portuguese to an extent. What about, okay. So I pinged you, I just saw it come up, Prashant. Will you come to India, face green, smiling? All right. Who will challenge the Indian batters more from the Aussie pacers? Probably Boland if he bowls well. Could trouble them. He'll toil. We need another 73 subscribers. So I ping you. I saw that. I can't do it while I'm here. This time Australia looks well prepared. Oh, I don't know about that. You can say Bharat Mat KJ. I better not say that too loud. I don't know what I'm saying is wrong. Okay. All right. Boland is too slow. Boland, it's not Boland. Boland is not too slow. He's taken a hell of a lot of wickets. What are you talking about? His pace is going to be relatively ineffective on Indian pitches, yes. My Instagram grid is at Normkoch. At Normkoch, NORM Koch. Go to there. Follow me on there. That's what your job's to do. Here's the... There we go. We might just pull it out there. All right. Rishabh Study Vlogs. What's your view on KL Rahul? Mixed. I'm not a big fan of KL Rahul, to be honest with you. Do you know Virat taken Ben Stokes was quite often? Oh, that's good. Virat's about right. Okay. No wickets anywhere else. Okay. I'm your biggest fan. Is that right, Prashant? Okay, well, that's good. You messaged me on that form. Are you in India covering the series? I'm going to be, yes, but not just yet. What about Lance Morris? Yeah, that's a very good question. I think he deserves to be given a chance, and May will get a chance during the series. Let's hope he does. So there's a very good chance he will. Very good chance he will. So please view, like, and share the post, subscribe, and then pass on and hit the notification button so you can get notified of any more things I've had. Several uploads of training sessions. I've had one that I've talked to the public today in my reaction video, and then I'm doing the live one here. And I normally have guests, but not tonight. I had Richard Vernon, of course. Even if India win the series dominantly, it'll be hard. Yeah. What about Pujara? Well, Pujara's going to be steady. Whether he'll go be spectacular, we'll wait and see. When are you going to, hopefully the third and fourth test at the very least. Pujara certainly is important to that whole scheme of things. So T-Gold just subscribed. Good on you. When are you coming in? Hopefully the third and fourth test with Dharmashala and Ahmedabad. Where are you, Prashant VK? What city are you in? Any two big threats to Australia? Big threats to Australia? Well, Ashwin and Jadeja to start with. Since 2000, India lost only. They've been great. Do you think Labuschagne can be a man? He's not going to have a good series. I don't believe. It'll be Smith and Kawaja, which will be the ones that'll stand up. My street pets. Do you think Labuschagne can be a man of the series? No. I'm in Indian Hyderabad. Okay. Okay, good. Just gonna get this up. I'll be back in a sec, guys. Give me a sec. No. Yeah. So there, guys. I'm just going to the toilet. Give me a sec. All right, guys. We're going to start to come to an end here. Yeah. Is Peter Hanscom? No, I don't think he's going to be in the song. Do you? Labuschagne, Ashwin, and Jadeja will be the two key players. Labuschagne is going to have a tough time. He certainly will. He will certainly have a tough time. I don't see Hanscom playing in the test, nor do I. I totally agree. Totally not agree. Totally and utterly agree.
Now call eyes on.
There you go. Do you see Ravi Ashton as a future captain at the Indian Test team? He probably wants to be, but I don't think they're going to select him for some reason. I think he's already past an age where he should have been factored in, and he's been looked over several times. So
a lot of outstanding news for women's cricket in the last week. I think.
Talking women's cricket, well, yeah, women's cricket certainly has been good, but it's still not near men. They're certainly getting more money now, which is great to see, but they're far from being, at the same level, and that's a long way to go. Whereas tennis has certainly done that. Women get paid the same as the men in any of the major tournaments, any of the major Grand Slams. Ash is too old. Ash is too old to be captain. Probably. They might give an honorary captaincy just to keep him quiet. I think that you're right. People always say that India's got the worst pitches. Well, they haven't. It's no different to any other place, and we've got to put that into a consideration. Australia has green tops. No, but we do it. England has seaming wickets, which is a no-no, but they still do it. South Africa has fast-paced wickets, which is a no-no, but they do it. So it's not like Australia's unusually out of place. A lot of countries do it, and India will do it too. And rightfully so. It's the home ground. They need to have whatever advantage they can create, and that's the way it should be. Exactly. Nagpur pitch is a good Indian pitch. Well, there you go. Well, that's I'm commending that, but that's the case. And if it's typically Indian, that's fine. That's the way they need to have it, and that's fine. Come Hans Hyderabad, I will be host for you. Prashant, I'll take you up on that one day. Come home. Okay, so don't worry, I will take you on that one day. All right. Any other questions? Is Jadeja an underrated all-rounder? Yes, absolutely underrated. He's probably the best all-rounder in the country, in the world, and deserves all his accolades. That's my opinion. Double hundreds will be rare in this series, I would agree. Who is best, Baba Azam or Shubman Gill? At this stage, Baba Azam. So reply to me in Instagram. I've got to get my Instagram up. It's on this phone in front of you. I can't do both together, but I will do it, okay? Hi, any chance of Lance Morris? There is a chance. Maybe not this test, but I think there will be a chance. Hopefully he gets a Guernsey. He deserves it. Okay, I think he deserves it for sure. Don't you? He's been hanging around the wings and he's a great bowler. Give him a go, for God's sake. Let him run right against his Australians, against the Indians, against anyone. How can I get your number? Well, I'll talk to you on Instagram after this session, right? Teagle, Rowett had not played Test since March 2022. It will be a tough for him. Yeah, it will be. What about Sky Surya? Come on. Vinay Chandrakar is very much right. Sky Kerr is very, very close. Shreyas Iyer is probably a touch in front of him. And clearly Shubman Gill is as well. So, but he's not far away. He'll be in the side before too long. Probably when Kohli leaves, Sky's place will be there for him. That's probably what's going to happen, actually. Sky's when it will replace Kohli eventually, and when Kohli actually goes. That's his place. Swepson or Murphy? I'd go Murphy over Swepson for sure. Pravik Shukla, I would go Murphy over Swepson. I'm playing 11 for the Australian team. You can't get away from Warner, Khawaja, Labuschagne, what's his name? The captain, Steve Smith. Swepson's a crab, yeah. Kohli plays. Kohli's up and down, I'm afraid. King Kohli, he certainly is. What's your thoughts on doctoring pitches? It's not a good thing, especially at court. They've actually, when they doctored the pitch and the covers for the match with, it's really good. Coldy plays, he will be man of the match. He's rocks and diamonds. He can either be man of the match or be completely out of the side. That's kind of what happens with him. Okay, we're getting very close to an end here, guys. Yeah, my pleasure to give you responses. Okay, you're still all here. One of you asked proposed. Okay, it's 3:19, guys. It's way past my bedtime. 3:19, which makes it about 3:30. It would be about 10 p.m. Getting very close to 10 p.m. Nobody is talking about Cummins. He's good against India. Well, yeah, yes and no. He can't do it himself. Boland will have to help him. And then the light spinners of Agar potentially with Lyon and, of course, Todd Murphy. Webson out of the equation did not prove to be good enough. No crowd from Australia side in Indian ground. That's true. That's not an issue. Nobody is talking about Cummins. He's good. He can be very good. Yes, I agree. India, Pavaz, Rajatalia. It's good to have you. Thanks for passion. What's your thoughts about this series? India win 3-1. Australia will be pretty tidy in their approaches. You'll have Jason Sanger now able to play as a keeper without having to worry about he's missing all the players through some sort of truancy thing. So he should be the next keeper and captain. But that might be waylaid a little bit now. Reverse wing will be the keeper for Australia. They will be if they get it going, yes. What's your thoughts about the series? As I said before, India will win 3-1. Australia will struggle and won't get there in the end. Good predictions, yes. My views on Marnus Labuschagne. Very overrated, in my opinion. He plays well in Australia, but he doesn't play well outside of Australia. Pam has not got a chance. He's been given plenty of chances and he's blown a few as well. Using Marnus, he's basically. Okay, Marnus Labuschagne is overrated in my opinion. Which duo is best, Hazlewood Cummins or Shami and Bumrah in all conditions? I would say Shami and Bumrah. If they're fit, I would always argue those two. Renshaw, he's probably going to play. He was given the nod in the series in Australia, so he's probably likely to play. First choice of keeper for India. For India, I'd say Bharat. Oh, well, at least that's what I'm hearing. I'm not. He bats pretty well. This one runs more spectacular. We're suited to the shorter format. What about Renshaw? Renshaw should have been the side all the way along, and for whatever reason wasn't. So that's brought pity. I think Aussie can win the series. Well, that's a big call. I would say it's doubtful. Are you in India? No. I love from India. Thank you. Good night. Will Bazball be effective against top-ranking tweakers? Yes, I think it will be. I mean, a good spinner will always. Shane Warne would certainly test, and Ashwin, and you would think Jadeja. I just got to check the mobile. We might stop here, guys. Shubman Shukla, will Baseball be effective against tweak? If they're good tweakers, it'll be harder. I mean, someone like Ashwin and Jadeja should have the measure of best batters that try to run after. Let me shoes off, guys. $34,949 subscribers. 34,949. 34,949. I'll take my head off, guys. Okay. Good night. Good night. Good night. I think we're saying good night, so I will say good night too. All the best. So view, like, and share the post. Subscribe. Sir, I love India. Good on you, Prashant. We'll talk more on Instagram. So view, like, and share the post. Subscribe. Share to everybody. Make sure they subscribe. Then hit the predictions button or the notification button, and we'll be joining each other very soon. Thoughts on pink ball tests? They're good novelty value, but I'm not a big fan of them. I'm traditionally a red ball daytime cricket lover. Okay, so there you go. All right, guys, we'll talk to each other tomorrow. View, like, and share the post. Subscribe. Hit the notification button and share around so everyone else subscribes. Let me get you over to 35,000. Give reply now, sir. I will. Well, I will when I get my phone into another room, okay? All right, so please get me up to 35,000, 34,949,950. Another 50 subscribers. If you can help me do that between the 17 of you there, we'll go from there. Good night, everyone. All the best.